of the Middle East, while others are saying, tonight, you really proved yourself to be the commander-in-chief. I'm joined now by Kit Daniels, one of our lead writers here at InfoWars. And Kit, you want us to take kind of a different approach here and just look at some different bullet points, what they're not telling us about these strikes, and just some different options here, some different points to consider. So give us your take.
Well, when I heard about the strikes last night, I kind of worried a little bit about it. But then again, I was like, I don't want to have a knee-jerk reaction to it. Let me think about it, and I'll wake up in the morning, I'll think about it more, and come to a conclusion then. My conclusion is this. Trump responded to a false flag with a false retaliation. He hit an air base that was a couple of shacks and a runway, and maybe like some big fighters. Syria is not even using their own fighters, pretty much. They're using Russian Air Force fighters. That's their air support. So this basically been a slap on the wrist to Assad. Trump did what? He hit a training facility. He hit 6 Soviet-era MiG fighters from the 80s. They were probably built before I was even born. He hit, I think it was like a munitions depot, or not even that. It was like a storage room. So he inflicted minimal damage to this air base. And here's the key point, Leanne, that really told me a lot about what was going on, is the fact that the runway wasn't even hit. Now, if this was a bombing run in World War II, and they hit only 6 planes but not the runway, that would have been considered a failure. So that was one of the tales for me. And the second tale was when Trump gave a press conference about the strike. This is very unusual for him. He read the teleprompter like word for word without really any emotion. And typically Trump's the kind of guy, he's authentic. Even when he gives like teleprompter speech, like when I was at the RNC, he was using a teleprompter, but you can tell he was behind the words he was saying. It wasn't the case with that. Plus, some of the words that he said were really carefully selected. He mentioned the children that died, but as Syrian Girl mentioned this article that we posted about 2 days ago, the children in the photos had evidence of blunt force trauma, like they were hit in the head and killed. So yeah, so he's technically right. These kids were